Welcome back, Panthers. My name is Jayden Hazelton, and I'm accompanied by
Augusta Poole, and today we have much to cover, so let's hop straight into our upcoming events.
First up is our upcoming basketball games. We have many games, so check the school calendar for the most updated information. You can view that at lisbon.k12.nh.us, the school website.
After that, the first semester ends on January 17th, and we get an early release day.
Then, we have no school on Monday, the 20th, for Civil Rights Day.
Also, Duck Duck Bullseye has finally begun. It happens every home game. This means people can buy a duck for only $2 during the JV boys game and the first half of the varsity girls game. During halftime of the girls game, the two sophomores at the table will count the money and then go out into the middle of the gym and place the target. Whoever is closest to the bullseye will win half of the money made that night.
Now that we have finished our upcoming events, let's go to the first big story on the Ed Foundation with Sawyer Fenoff.
The Education Foundation is an organization that focuses on enhancing the educational experience for students at LRS by providing financial support for groups and activities in the school. They have benefited many classes, including our class, where they've provided money so that we can get much better equipment to make these broadcasts. The Education Foundation does lots of things to help our school. And here is Mike White, who is a member of the Education Foundation. What is the Ed Foundation?
So the Educational Foundation is an organization whose mission is to enhance the educational experience of students at Lisbon Regional. They're involved in quite a few different things, but mainly it's try to do things that are outside the normal day-to-day curriculum. So the teachers are actually responsible for coming up with different ideas and things that the students could participate in, and then the Education Foundation will review those and decide which ones kind of align with their principles.
So what are some of the big things that the Ed Foundation has done for the school?
So there's quite a few different things. One is a lot of different trips. So Squam Lake Science Center, Cog Railway. Also just recently, they took the school up to the Weathervane Theater and they saw Romeo and Juliet. And that was a nice experience because the actors actually sat and talked with the students beforehand and described their experiences and how they got there, and also answered any questions the students might have had with, if they want to become an actor themselves, how do they go about it? So that was an added benefit.
So how are some of the ways that the Ed Foundation raises money for the school?
So the majority of money is still raised through generous donors, many of which are Lisbon graduates who want to see the school continue to be successful and the students to be able to enjoy some of these great experiences that we help provide financially. So that's kind of the main culprit of our fundraising. We also hosted a trivia night, as well as this past year we did a Bob Butson Memorial Golf Tournament, which was a great success. We filled out 30 plus teams quickly, and we also had one of the nicest days of the year that day, so that helped. So it was a great turnout and for a great cause.
What are some of the future things that the Ed Foundation has planned?
So, like I mentioned before, some of the things that we're going to help contribute to financially, we don't know about yet because the teachers are doing research and figuring out what things are out there that the students would enjoy. But one thing I can talk about is this year's a big trip going on to New York City and Washington, D.C. So I know a lot of people in the school are excited about that, and we're just kind of finalizing all the details on how that's going to work. So that's going to be an amazing experience. We did a similar type trip, help contribute financially to one in 2023 where the school went to Boston and they got to check out the Museum of Science, as well as the Freedom Trail, and then attended a Red Sox baseball game. So that was a fun trip.
Are there any big other things that the Ed Foundation does for the town of Lisbon?
I think the Ed Foundation is really mostly just focused on the school and just trying to make sure kids are, getting these opportunities to, do stuff outside of the normal classroom. And I think the kids really appreciate that, and I think we look forward to providing more opportunities for them.
Thank you, Mike. Now let's go to a teacher to see how the Education Foundation has helped her as a teacher. So how do you, as a teacher, think the Education Foundation has supported you?
So since the Education Foundation started, it has been a huge help to all the teachers and staff. We get to write grants for things that we need. So for me personally, I've written grants for the winter program for the whole elementary, which has been a great program in the past. Early on, I asked for some video equipment several years ago. So we had a new video camera for live streaming at the time. And I also asked for podcast equipment, and we did some podcasting for a while, which we've been using for various projects since then. And most recently with this class, we received a nice big grant which allowed us to get 2 new updated cameras. That is very efficient for us. And we also got a teleprompter and a whole bunch of different equipment, which was a great asset to this new class that we just started this year.
The Ed Foundation does a lot for the school, and we greatly appreciate them. Without the grants we have gotten, we would not have the equipment that we have today. So thank you, Ed Foundation. Now back to the anchors.
Thank you, Sawyer. Now let's transition to our past events, and to begin we have Hunter Barrios. He is doing the recent concerts that happened last December.
Hello, Panthers. In this episode, I'll be going over the previous winter concert. Now, let's go hear from Jayden. Jayden, so what performances were you a part of in the winter concert?
I was only a part of one performance, and that was the jazz band, which happened at the very end. This is basically where we all come together with, jazzy instruments and performed some Christmas songs and one song from a book that we've been practicing.
And what performance do you think was the best?
So I think the best performance was actually the one I got to play in, the jazz band, because I just felt like when you actually do it, you have more fun when you do it, and also I think we sounded pretty good.
So how do you think the overall winter concert went?
Overall, I think the winter concert went well. Mainly as a winter concert, you want to see your own growth and you want to see the crowd getting excited.
Now, on to Miss Song. So, what performances were you a part of in the winter concert?
I've been involved in various concert and events as a elementary and high school band directors.
Okay. When did you start doing these performances as a part of the winter concert?
I've been part of the winter concert from the beginning with Miss Rhythmans. It's an important event that we prepare for every years during the winter season with the students.
Are there any plans that would be for something to be done different in the future?
In the future, I plan to explore the different music genre and strengthen the band abilities through the collaborative project with the local community.
And for the last question, how do you think people who are involved in the concert, or just the overall, how do you think the concert went?
Oh yes, everyone's involved in performance excellently, and that each person fulfilled their roles, and the teamwork was amazing, and I believe that students learned a lot about the musicianship through the concert.
Time to turn to Landon about the elementary school winter concert. So, did you have fun at the winter concert?
Yes.
Okay. What was your favorite song that you did?
Special delivery.
All right. How do you think you did in the concert?
Good.
Thank you, Panthers, for listening to me go over the winter concert. Now, let's go see what the anchors have to say.
Thank you, Hunter. Now let's go to Sawyer Fenoff and his sports recap.
The basketball season is underway, and our teams have all played multiple games. The boys started out losing to Woodsville 45-21, and Linwood 39-26. Then they got a huge win against Gorham, winning 44-34. This win was huge for Lisbon, and it shows that they're headed in the right direction. Over Christmas break, the JV boys had a tournament in Pittsfield, where they played some tough competition. but they played 3 games against Prospect, Belmont, and Pittsfield, which all resulted in a loss. On the 3rd, the boys took care of Pittsburgh Canyon and moved to 2-2 with a 20-23 win. So Tucker, how do you think we've been doing this year for the basketball season?
We've been doing pretty good for 1-2, 1 win, 2 losses, but overall we're doing pretty good.
What is something you think we could do better?
Probably on the defensive end, keep up the defensive intensity, but overall we're doing pretty good.
What is something that you think you could do better?
Maybe playmaking more, because my passing negative. It could be up here.
How did it feel to get our first win at the JV level?
It felt awesome. 1 win in 3 years. It felt great.
The girls have played 5 games and are still searching for a win. The middle school has also played some games, and the girls got a win on their first game against Monroe, 21-12.
Welcome back, sports fans. We want to give a big thanks to the parents that come to the games. But let's go to Asher and his piece on the Ned guest speaker who recently came.
I'll be covering the Ned Mindset mission, and now, right to Ms. Horvath to learn more. Can you tell us a little bit about the Ned Mindset mission?
Yes, so the Ned Show is a character education program that centers around a cartoon character named Ned, whose name is an acronym for Never Give Up, Encourage Others, and Do Your Best. And the most recent assembly was called Ned's Mindset Mission, and students discovered how to activate their growth mindset to overcome social, emotional, and academic challenges through storytelling, yo-yo tricks, and magic.
How do you think this kind of helps our community?
I think it helps students know that they should always keep trying and to never give up. And this program presents that information in a really fun way for students.
Did the children enjoy the assembly?
Yes, they did very much. I think the yo-yo tricks and the magic and how the performer presented the information was very entertaining.
Is this like a scheduled thing, or does it just happen sometimes?
So we've actually had the Ned Show here 4 times, all before 2020. So they had reached out, letting me know they were in the area again, and we're hoping that they could come perform at our school.
It's amazing. How do you kind of feel about the program?
I really like it. I feel like the show is, consistently entertaining and insightful for the students. The show is, we're able to have the assembly through the Pay It Forward program. So after the assembly, I sell the yo-yos, and the yo-yos that we sell pays for another school to have the show.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Horvath, and the NED program. Now, back to the anchors. Thanks, Asher. However, it's time to finish our past events with my piece on Shop with a Cop. I'm Augusta, and today I bring you to Mrs. Jellison to get her input on Shop with a Cop in Littleton, New Hampshire. What happened during the Shop with a Cop?
So we arrived at Littleton Walmart, and kids that were participating got like a pseudo list of things to go and pick up for kids for toys. I think we were there for maybe 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, and we filled probably 20 carts over the top with toys to then put in the cruiser for the Shop with a Cop event.
What did the toys go towards?
So the Toys for Tots program go to underprivileged, underserved kids in the community. So anybody in Grafton County that parents need a little extra help during the holidays.
Have you done this before?
I believe this is our 3rd year, and we have won all 3 years So that's why Lisbon gets to go and do Shop with a Cop event.
How did shopping with a cop make you feel?
It is by far my favorite day. So I think so much of the holidays is about, I think a lot of people think of the holidays, it's about me and what do I want, but it's a really good opportunity and a unique opportunity for people to think about others. What would people want to get? What's going to make them smile? And thinking about how much time and money goes into that program, and then we got to organize the toys afterwards, is really, it's really kind of magical. It kind of makes you really think what the reason for the season is.
Thank you, Mrs. Jellison, for your input. And now, I will join back with
We have now completed our past events. Let's hear some words of wisdom with Hunter Barrios.
Fellow Panthers, this week I'll be interviewing some people about their words of wisdom. So without further ado, I'll hop straight into this. First, we'll be hearing from Cole Kowecki on his words of wisdom. What are your words of wisdom for today?
My words of wisdom are, if you do the best you can, you have nothing to be ashamed of. A defeat is not a disgrace.
All right, Cole, thank you for your time. Now, let's shift to Sora Fenoff. So Sora, what are your words of wisdom today?
My words of wisdom is a famous quote from David Goggins, and the quote is, in order to be great, you have to work harder than everybody else.
All right, Sora, thank you.
Yes, sir, bro.
Thank you to all the great people who helped me out today with their amazing words of wisdom. You know what, guys? I'm going to give you some personal words of wisdom since this is the second to last episode. They came from a very amazing man. Never back down, never give up. Thank you all, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Now that we have heard our words of wisdom, let's move to my big piece with Nate Superchi and the fishing game. Welcome to my newest big story with New Hampshire Fishing Game, and today I'm interviewing Nate Superchi. And without further ado, let's get right to the interview. What do you do as a fishing game officer?
So, for fishing game, we do just about everything outdoors. It's a pretty diverse job. We do everything from, checking fishermen, checking hunters, OHRVs, which would be like ATVs and snowmobiles, doing rescues, dive recoveries. So pretty much everything outside. Basically, our main, our goal ultimately is to give the public a place to recreate, make sure they're doing it ethically and safely, and just continuing to be able to, have these resources for people to enjoy. So as law enforcement too, we do all the same duties as like state police or like a local town cop. So just, keeping the public safe, everything like that.
What inspired you to be a fishing game officer?
So I grew up hunting and fishing my entire life. I just wanted to be outside as much as I possibly could. That's where I had the most fun. That's where I was learning everything. So as I continued to do all these hobbies and be outside doing stuff with my dad, my grandparents, I just kind of slowly learned more to appreciate like even more and more about anything outside. Just everything that it can do for you. Get away from any stress. I think you learn a lot of life skills out there. So I think it's super important for anybody, that anybody to be outside, basically. This definitely made me want to, continue on and protect these resources so future people can, continue to use them, like I said before, future families, stuff like that. And then Greg Jellison, who's actually from Bath, he patrolled right around here. He recently retired, but I was friends with him my entire life. He was a game warden in this area, so being around him, I always looked up to him, and just, eventually got to do a ride along and was like, hey, this is a pretty sweet job. I kind of knew even before I did a ride along, but, that was just what finally was like, yeah, no, there's nothing else I want to do but this, so.
How did Lisbon affect your life and your future career in fishing game?
So I hear a lot of people, I went to college and everyone's like, how are there opportunities coming from a tiny school? Because, this is definitely one of the smallest schools in the state. I wouldn't have wanted to go anywhere else but here. I feel like we have a ton of opportunities for everything. A big part of this was PAWS, the outdoor group. I was a part of that, and that just gave me a lot of connections, doing stuff with biologists, volunteering, and again, just further set in stone that, yeah, I wanted to be a game warden.
What are your goals as a fishing game officer?
So currently I'm a trainee, so that basically means that I am riding around with a FTO, field training officer, pretty much every day. So our first year on the job is completely like training. So 8 months of that is in the field. You're, like I said, riding around with another officer, learning everything you can from them. And then 4 months of that is police academy. So I start the police academy in January, and that's 4 months long, like I said. And probably my first goal is to just graduate from that. I mean, there's a ton that I'm excited to learn about that. Obviously, that's a huge part of the job, enforcement, and learning to be safe and keep others safe as well. So I'm very excited for that. Definitely a goal of mine. And then I'd say my next goal is to just get to the point where I'm solo patrolling, like I have my own patrol. I'm being a competent officer.
What do you have to say to others who want to become fish and game officers?
I would say just, try and make yourself the best candidate you can. If you're really trying to get this job, sit down and literally write down what your weaknesses are, where you lack in knowledge, and then, try and improve on that. So, like, for example, when I was looking at this job, we deal with trappers a lot who, like, trap animals, stuff like that. There's not a ton of people in New Hampshire that do it, but, there are definitely some. And when you go and check somebody who's trapping and you actually can have a conversation with them and understand what's going on, they respect you a lot more. And, they see that you actually care about what they're doing as well. So I went out and took a trapper's ed course, and by no means am I like a professional trapper now or anything like that, but I can hold a conversation, understand what's going on, and I mean, once I get to my interviews and stuff, just small stuff like that, with any job, if you can show, like, before you came to that interview that day, what you did to, prepare yourself and make yourself better for this exact job, that's a huge, that's what makes you, like, stick out from everyone else. So also just getting experience, like I said, pause. We were working with biologists a ton, and it's not stuff that just anybody can go out and do any day. Like, you have to actually, like, reach out to them. So getting experience, like going out with our biologists, they always are looking for volunteers to do studies, stuff like that. They always need a hand, stalking, everything like that.
Thank you for watching my piece on New Hampshire Fish and Game. I'm Jayden Heselton, and now let's go back and join Augusta.
Thanks for the special advice, but let's finish this broadcast with Asher and the Art Club Spotlight.
Hello, my name is Asher Hoyt. I'll be covering a spotlight on a very good club, the Art Club.
Why was the Art Club created?
I created the Art Club with some founding members, which were Linnea and Hannibal Tabor, and we wanted to create a club that kids could get better at creating art while also being, even if they're not in an art class. So the original goal was for artists to kind of get better at what they liked creating, and then it kind of turned into a mural class. So we talk about how you properly commission artwork, how you communicate with buyers, and how to transform a space into something that's beautiful, maybe temporary, or it may be something that's around for a while.
What is the Art Club up to?
The Art Club is currently working on a mural that has replaced the dragon mural. So we had students vote on which location they wanted the mural. And when Miss Nielsen was here, she would cover over paintings every couple of years. And so now we are working on a piece that is a landscape throughout the seasons, starting with the school year, so fall, and going all the way to spring and summer.
Are you looking for more people to be in the club?
Art Club is very unique in the sense that we meet during the school day, during lunch on Tuesdays, but we also meet outside of school. So if someone doesn't have the ability to stay after school some days, that's okay. They're still helpful in planning or getting things started. So I do have students that join throughout the year typically.
What is the plan for Art Club in the future?
Once we finish the mural that we are currently working on, we'll possibly be working on a mural in the classroom. Currently, we are not funded, and so we are using donations and So depending on how much paint we have left at the end of this year will depend on if we're creating a mural in the hallway or in the art room based on colors that we have available. And we'll continue to work with what we can get.
Why did you become interested in being an art teacher?
I always wanted to be a teacher, ever since I was as far as I can remember. I didn't know I was going to be an art teacher until I met my high school art teacher. Marie Shack is a crazy New Yorker who always spoke her mind, and the first day of freshman art class I was drawing a leaf and she took it out from under my pencil, wrinkled it up, threw it in the trash, and told me it sucked and to start over. And from that day I continued to face her challenges, and she helped influence my choice to become an art teacher.
What's your favorite part about being an art teacher?
I like working with students of a variety of grade levels. So the reason why I came to Lisbon is because I previously taught preschool through 8th grade, but I wanted to teach high school again because I haven't taught high school since I left Massachusetts. So I just like seeing the variety of energy levels and interests throughout my day. It keeps things exciting and fresh.
Thank you, Ms. Powers, and now back to the anchors.
Thanks for watching, Panthers. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to see our next broadcast. Our next one will be our final before the next broadcasting crew enters the scene. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.